Now, I've been thinking in Dark Souls 2 in comparison to Dark Souls 1. When in Dark Souls 1 you are just an undead, you escape from your cell, you learn about pilgrimage to Lordran, you go to Lordran, you learn that you must ring 2 bells of awakening, and once you do that, then you must go to Sen's Fortress, and through that you go to Anor Londo, where you will get the Lord Vessel from a giant lady with big boobs. And then you go and start hunting for Lord Souls, so you can to fill the Lord Vessel, and then you go to Kiln of First Flame and to rekindle it, but it's guarded by Gwyn. But Dark Souls 2 is different. But let's have a chat with this gloomy guy.
Have you business with me?
Yeah.
The way under's all blocked up, you see, by this god-awful statue.
Well, I have a fragrant branches of yore.
Who thought it a good idea to put it there?
Game designer.
I'm in quite the pickle now.
Let's have a chat more.
See that statue? Gives me the willies. You stare at it for long enough, it starts to look alive.
Oh.
It just doesn't seem quite right. There are no craftsmen round these parts. Hey, you don't think a real-life person was turned to stone, do you?
Actually, I know it was. And I have a way to cure it. But before that can happen, I have to do some prep work with these ugly things. Oh yeah, that stoning is, well, it works the similar way than Curse in Dark Souls 1, but it's got different name and slightly different mechanics. But hey, so, yeah, but in this one you come to this Drang Lake for reasons you can't even remember. And here you will learn, and you learn that you must go and meet the king, but to meet the king you must become strong enough, and in a sense easiest way to become strong enough to get is by gathering 4 souls from very strong beings. Old souls or something. But let's have a chat with this ragged lady. She's coughing. That's quite, in a sense, quite nice looking dress, even though it looks very shabby.
I've been petrified, hard to speak.
Yeah, I believe it. You know, you don't know how long you've been there. What's one of those resurrecting things? It's usually never shown that how unpleasant probably the experience of being resurrected is. But I remember in Neverwhere, the TV series, that had actually quite good depiction of how resurrection might be an unpleasant thing for the one to be resurrected, and why somebody would want to arrange himself be resurrected is yeah, it's a plot point in there too. But I don't. Let's have a chat more. Yeah, you're probably fine. Well, you're probably better because you were not a rotting corpse thrown somewhere and then just once kicked back to life with your wounds or whatever crap and shit you had stuck into your mouth and stomach and every other orifice, so that yeah, you were just a rock.
Oh, you're that traveller.
Yeah.
I still haven't thanked you.
Well, you haven't, but
I'm quite a hand at pyromancy.
Oh, pyromancy teach.
So perhaps you could consider this my thanks.
Yeah, whatever.
I was attacked and turned to stone, I think.
Yep.
I owe you my life. If you had not come...
Well, you were a stone in a sense of...
I feel shameful.
Some sort of intermediary state.
burden you further, as you've already saved my life.
Yeah.
But just look at me. My clothes are in tatters. Do you have any clothing that you could spare?
Actually, yes, I do.
I'll take anything. Whatever you don't need. I'm not particular when it comes to apparel. Anything at all will do. Just put it on the ground.
Actually, no, you must do so that give equipment. And let's give her a helmet like this. Armor like this. Gloves like these. And boots like these. And back. It's gonna be alright. Yes, she deserves to earn clothing. And let's have more talk.
I have my very own teacher. His name is Carillion of the Fold.
I met him.
Sorcerer in Malphia, our hometown. I was fascinated by sorcery. And so, well, he's so unique, you see. When he set out for Drang Lake, I couldn't let him go alone.
Oh yeah, probably because it was dangerous.
We were separated. Quite early on, I'm afraid.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna leave.
After I change into this, I'm heading for Majula. I'm not sure where I might find
Well, he is there already.
But perhaps Majula is...
But now, time to do a little bit of jump forward just in case, and now pull this lever she was holding stuck. And of course, ambush of several ugly things, and that was the stone making thing, basilisks. Ugly, dangerous, but luckily quite squishy. And squishy means they die. But this is one of those gated parts though, that you can't just get right to the game right at the beginning, so you must get yourself a frequent branch of your some way, and of course be able to handle all these enemies. Although they can't really be said to be really frightening. They are unpleasant, but nothing too powerful or dangerous. And there's some sort of malignant dwarf carrying an anvil at the end of a chain. That's quite crude but very powerful form of weaponry. And those kind of guards drop large shards of titanite. Time to open this door and find out there's a bonfire over here, just to make it a bit faster to move around, although I could just count that this is actually Majula. Well, the Majula is a guard point in that you get hub that you can get to. You start the game from there, and it also leads to the second half of the game, which is to say the go forward part, shaded woods. And I think I'm gonna actually take a break, because mostly there's just going through a corridor, like setting. There's some enemies, you're gonna fight. You fight them. If you're clumsy, you get. If you are clumsy, they'll kill you. But if you fight with the Dark Souls method of being cheap and dirty and careful, you can get through them quite fine. In this is still the basic Dark Souls 2 setting. It's not a DLC, which did come with the Scholar of the First Sin. But those parts are clearly meant to be later, late game things. But Shaded Woods is just a grim, dour and unpleasant place, filled with old ruins, dirt and all that kind of filth. And like in every other, like in Dark Souls generally, its basic geography is quite insane. I would say it won't make so much sense when you actually look at it, how things link up and where they go. But then again, that's those matters of video game. You can't just model every 100 kilometers between different spots. But now it's time to open a bonfire again and actually use it now. And this is also one of those hub places, as in that when you go to here, you can actually get forward towards one place with as Lord Soul. And those... oh shit, gotta fight. Well, there's the fact that, well, yeah, that wood mist path leads to another Lord Soul place, and forward, and and this path actually leads to the very end game part where you must get certain item before you get, and this part actually leads to place I hope I actually can enter now, now that I believe I'm sufficiently powerful. What the hell is those guys? Some sort of bird shield or whatever. Actually they're called Falconer Knights or Falconers. But hunting falcons are not weapons. They are very, very, very expensive symbols of status and wealth. They were, and they still are that, which means you have to be a real enthusiast to practice falconry. You must know birds. Oops. And that's the nasty part of Dark Souls. Getting attacked by something unexpected. Some more handy stuff. And try to chug some Estus. Yeah, the hollowing in this one is well, in any case, that which looks quite innocuous is not. That's actually one of those ghost soldiers, but now it doesn't have a... it has no mist to hide, making its disguise much less effective than it could be, which in a sense is not bad thing at all, because those guys are can be quite dangerous. And stop poking me with that smell stick. It's rude. Besides, you don't look too well. A nice cobblestone path, and that is a real door. Let's try to get through it. Open. I can get through it, meaning I am strong enough, and this leads to one DLC, which I will go later, at least to show what kind of place it is. Not necessarily to run through all of it, but still to show what kind of place it is. And why am I even walking through this cobblestone path when I can just walk droppingly through? I don't know. But that place, of course, was a hint that, yeah, you are not meant to come here, but much later, once you are powerful enough, and the powerful is enough is that you have either accumulated 1,000 souls in total during your gameplay, or by the fact that you have that 4 Lord souls. But at least in my way of playing it, it's the million, it becomes much faster than 4 Lord souls, although getting those 4 Lord souls also makes you other ways more powerful, in that you get more loot, you can get more magics, you can get more items, and all those, that kind of handy things. This is the fast path to the latter half of the game, which I'm gonna use mostly just because I just wanna get through this War Down project. Dark Souls 3 is as well. About Dark Souls, despite being a really nasty game series with a well-deserved reputation of brutality, actually mostly in my books places the nastiness on bosses, and it just gets worse. Endgame bosses tend to be, well, in Dark Souls 1 they were nasty, but in Dark Souls 2 they get nastier, and it becomes a nice, actually not nice, actually very bleak and sad rain. And more of those warrior swordsmen, which occasionally are armed with crossbows, like now. Come on, I wanna... Alright, now I hit him. Is there more than one? There was 2, but... Actually, there was a 3rd one, but... managing to get them with a bit of a surprise sucker punchery means they got trouble. And I got lots of weaponry carrying that along. And Drang Lake Castle. And everybody knows that if castle is named, it must have some sort of occupants. And the Emerald Herald is here. Let me look how she looks. Very human. In a sense, quite beautiful. I'll have a chat with her.
Your soul is still frail and pallid. If you proceed regardless, your fate will be more terrible than mere life or death. But I will not stop you, if that is your heart's desire.
Yep.
Your soul is still frail. If you proceed regardless, but I will not.
Meaning, going here means things get bad. Like that bad. Elephant. Human anthropomorphic elephants wearing armor to match and carrying spears and shields to their size. I don't remember what they will go. It is called Juggernauts or something. Of course, that would be quite appropriate name for elephant warriors. Yep, and they hit also like you would expect a anthropomorphic elephant to hit. Fucking furries. But like always, one foe might be dangerous, but it's something that you can just dance around being faster and more nimble. Mastodons, not juggernauts. Well, mastodon is also a good name for something like things like that. And they give a big chunk of souls, and they have great shield. But this castle doesn't look anything like Anor Londo of the first Dark Souls, which say Anor Londo, well, in a sense it was an illusion, but this one looks just higher than empty, as in some place that which was sometimes something, but nowadays it is not anymore that. Oh yeah, and lots of soldiers with swords and some with crossbows as well. Meaning you must do some herd thinning using your superior abilities in ranged combat. Yeah, come in here. And of course there's the little trick that you must kill a foe as close as possible to these what is it, cups or something, so that they will open up, and once you have filled those 2 cups you can, well, those giant like things. Oh, this one's not. Actually, it was. Yes, and the gate opens with an appropriately dramatic slowness. So it's time to enter Dranglake Castle through the front door, and there's a ghost or something right at the front. So let's have a chat with it. He's quite invisible, but I will talk.
Who are you?
I don't know.
And by whose permission do you stand before me?
Well, my own.
This castle is the domain of King Vendrick. Is your trespass intentional?
Yes?
His Highness. Where has he gone?
Oh? You mean he ain't here?
You are a guest of our castle. I am the Chancellor, Belaga. Do you seek an audience with my lord, King Vendrick?
Yes, I do.
Unfortunately, His Highness is absent. My lord, the King, has... The Queen has taken him.
So...
My lord made magnificent findings on souls. An accomplishment for the ages. He vanquished 4 great ones and built this kingdom upon their souls.
So what are those 4 great ones?
Has watched over this land since ages long.
But probably he was something. So Vendrick is something like a Gwyn-like character in that he fought something really crazy. Gwyn fought against dragons, so I guess the Vendrick fought against giants.
The king had a dear queen, a woman of unparalleled beauty.
She was probably very beautiful.
Long ago, the queen came to us alone from a faraway land.
A foreigner.
She warned our lord of the looming threat across the seas, of the giants.
So she was a refugee.
Across the ocean, and defeated the giants with the queen
And
at his side.
Vendrick attacked them before they could attack him.
The king commandeered their power and created the golems.
I guess.
With the
And that
the
thing,
king created
those
this
things which
castle
opened the door must have been golems.
to
And
celebrate
he used them to
victory
labor.
and to show his love and his gratitude to his queen.
He must have been very dedicated to her.
The queen brought peace to this land and to her king.
And she probably was a nice man.
It was like the dark.
And that final word is actually very important.
Is this some sort of a dream?
Perhaps, I don't know.
Where am I? What has happened to our castle?
Well, it's quite empty,
Who are you?
and I'm just a
By whose
foreign
permission do you stand
undead
before me?
and my own permission.
Welcome, visitor.
So now you are just
Guests are treated
friendly.
with honor. Tell me if you should.
And even a trespasser is treated with honor. That's nice. What can gesture do you learn? And what is he selling? Nice weaponry. Different kind of special arrows and magic spell, which I will buy later. Yes. And I'm going forward. And here must have been the room where the king is, so I'm just gonna kick it door in. And there's a throne. And they're empty. This must have been king's seat, and this must have been the queen's seat. Very impressive. And there's that weird opening in the roof. Well, its purpose was probably to just allow the sunlight in, and of course rain coming in as well. But this place must have been quite cold when it was actually in use, if this place has ever been in actual use. But unlike Dark Souls 1, where things were mostly in ruins, dilapidated, in this one, this place is also ruined, but differently. The Grand Lake Castle is just so empty, as in that everything is gone. Like, well, of course there are enemies and all that kind of things you have to fight against, but it has the feeling of some sort of place where, like like there would be some sort of party or something, and then they just freeze and dust just start to land on everything there is. And now it's time to wander through some sort of crypts or something. Open a door. And open again door. And that looks very big and important door. And it is one of those doors that I must need to have a symbol of the king. Like, does it mean a scepter or a crown or something? Well, my desire is to find a king, and for perhaps as something to usurp the throne or some kind of that kind of task. But it's time to open this bonfire and actually do a bit of. And this room is, in a sense, looks very intimidating. And these doors demand souls. And these rockmen are actually one of the only real ways to get farm infinitely souls in this game. Because those things are not affected by the limited number you can kill things in one place. Which is quite handy, but I think I'm gonna go once again elsewhere once I first rest on here, and I'll be going somewhere else. Well, and just because this project is already fragmented and piecey bits enough, I'm going through this bizarre place, castle cast from iron, which was so heavy that it sank underground, and that might explain why there's magma and all fire and all that stuff. But then again, to get here I had to climb up. So yeah, the geography of Grand Lake is quite nonsensical, but then again so was same applied to Lordran as well. But I still really wonder, are they all matter of Drang Lake and Lordran, are they actually in a sense from same places, or are they just like that? Are they geographically in the same places, or are they just in the same world, which has the undead curse, or curse of undeath, or however you want to call it? The fact that people don't die, and I'd say they probably also can't breed either, meaning people are just become immortal and they can't die, but I believe they can still be hurt, pain, and get horribly mauled and mangled and be thrown, get stuck and cast in concrete and all that kind of unpleasantness. Or certain things like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot you to the head, probably are not as frightening as, hey, I will respawn in my homeland eventually, or probably not even eventually, probably something like really quickly. So that those kind of threats probably lose much of their efficiency, at least dealing with once the undead are there. But then again, still threats like I'm gonna wrap your feet in concrete and dump you to sea or throw you down the harbor probably is not as weak threat as, well, yeah, you are stuck there, and well, if the, well, actually that also wouldn't make it so frightening as, well, the undead would just die and spawn in the whatever homeland they were from, so that also wouldn't be so effective. But this place is filled with these armored samurai warriors, and that idiot just threw himself off the pier right into the hot magma. And that should tell me tell how effective poison is in this game. It just drains that enemy health away. Of course, in Dark Souls 3 it would have done the same thing, but it would have been just so much slower that it would have been just more practical to not bother apply poison. Missed! Well, that would have killed me if it didn't miss. Dead. And there's lurking one dude. Those dudes are dangerous. You don't want to pick a fight with them, unless of course it's a fight you but again, the place, Iron Keep, it was built by old Iron King from cast iron. How you build a castle from cast iron, I don't know, but he did. But it was so heavy that it sank to the ground, well, like a swamp castle of Monty Python, except, well, not as funny, and you probably didn't get a chance to build another one. Yeah, so that might make a bit different thing. That idiot is not gonna. Oh, he was not gonna throw himself off the magma. And down there is a chest, which includes a, or better say, which has a very important thing, or better say, very useful thing inside. But of course, it being on that kind of, or whatever, hot rock means that when you try to get there, you're gonna get an ass load of damage and hurt, and there is no magma protection ring in this one. unlike Dark Souls 1. But then again, unlike Dark Souls 1 where you couldn't use the fire protection ring against that, in here you can. So I guess it evens out. But Old Iron King had this place built out of cast iron. With a cast iron castle. Why you would want to do that, I don't know. Can you even make a metal casting so be sturdy that it can work as a castle? I don't know. But that's what happened. And there are his minions, warriors, henchmen, or however you want to call them around here, ironclad warriors. And generally just all kinds of dudes with weapons. And these are the ironclad soldiers, but unlike those faced in Forest of Fallen Giants, these ones are not old, they are fresh. Of course, it's impossible to tell in Dark Souls that when you see something, and most of the things you see in Dark Souls are big, heavy armored dudes. Like those guys shooting me with great bows. They're, what was it, Alonne captains. You might say that they are officers in the army of Old Iron King, or loyal to Old Iron King. But how they actually are something like 10 feet tall, I don't know. I guess there's some kind of stature, your rank makes you bigger rule in Drang Lake and Lordran, as in well, Guinevere was nothing sort of a giant, something like a 5-6 meters tall, but still proportioned right for a human or humanoid shape. And there were those Anolonda soldiers were, or whatever giant warriors, they were about twice as high as humans, or tall. So yeah, square cube law isn't so important, isn't so big deal, or better say so important in Dark Souls. Well, of course they want to make the boss look intimidating, and if the boss would be something like small insect or small cute fluffy rabbit, it wouldn't be as effective. And you bastard tried to sucker punch me. But yeah, you have a nice sword made with tactics out of made with style of foreign land, and it might be a good sword, but I don't have one. I just have a couple. I just have some looted equipment I robbed from remnants of whatever people who have been here, and stole from dead guys like you. So it becomes a bit strict. Oops, you're not coming here. Keep standing there. And a heavy blade falls on your head and crushes you dead. Yeah, you can use the traps in this game to your benefit, which is good. Lethal traps, yes. Annoying, quite expected from Dark Souls. Lethal traps that you can use for your own benefit. Very handy. That makes the traps a bit more tolerable in a way. It's time to climb up this place. That's probably just there to make some set piece, and that those things too. Just nice pieces of setting. Nothing really big important, and I think this is the most handy way to, in a sense, make it show that, yeah. But I'm gonna actually summon aid, most because, not because I would need it, but because hey, I wanna show the co-op in this game. And I think I'm gonna be silent doing that. Come on. Well, while I'm waiting, let's pull this one. And turn off the fires. Time to go down. Slide. Time to go more down. Slide. Those walls with spikes, they're dangerous, but they're not horrifyingly lethal. Lightning shot blow +1. Just junk. Not so need to get that guy. Although if there's no more henchmen available, I might. Time to go and face the old Iron King. And he's a fiery demon up to his decline in magma. And he's got wings. Yep, nothing really original in Western sense. I really don't know what caused that. Maybe he had some sort of obsession with iron and stuff and became a hot fiery monstrosity. Can't really remember what was the story behind old Iron King. Except that, well, as a boss, he's not so horrifying, especially mostly because he ain't immune to poison. Oh shit, I lost that when I found him. Well, I think try to keep fighting him. Oh yeah, the biggest killer in this battle is not his attacks, although they can be very potent and dangerous. It's getting thrown to magma. By his attacks. And now he decides to swim. Try to bring him up from here. I don't know what he's doing there swimming up. But his attacks are big, heavy and scary. Putting some poison blades to his skull. Yeah, I think that with that kind of size, yeah, it ain't. Doesn't move quick, but it moves very strong. And this place is actually quite good hiding place, at least for brief moments. Hacking off in his hand. Come on, I have to be aware of the fire. He's up to diving again. Time to prepare a poison clouding and hope that it's... Oh damn. Yep, he's poisoned final time. Now he's just gonna probably keel over and die because of it. A big explosion of fire. Yeah, I can see that arrow to your head. Now you're spitting fire at me. And you died because you got poisoned. Great soul engaged. Old Iron King. Well, he was king. He probably had some sort of... Well, kings and becoming corrupt and kingship itself is some kind of theme in Dark Souls 2. Unlike in first Dark Souls where the basic theme was resurrection and becoming better. In this one it's more like what king means. But time to open the bonfire. Primal bonfire lit. And this place leads to a interesting place. Another DLC place, which actually I can enter now. I'm not gonna go through it, but for much, but I will enter it. Looks quite old. Quite bleak. And there's a big structure with all kind of ornate images. And a lift to get me up. So the old Iron King held some sort of castle, and this place was probably something like his kingdom. There are dead soldiers and some sort of charred thing gives me smelter wedges, which are a key item or key consumable related to this place. And with this huge chain bridge, it is time to cross the threshold to something completely different place. The Broom Tower, or just Broom Tower. And it's actually time for me to jump over the Majula and start doing some other things. I see you somewhere else later. See ya.